Hi everyone, good evening. How are you doing? Always excited to see us here. We love doing this, we love gathering here. The year is coming to an end. It's been a beautiful year. For me, I hope it's been a beautiful year for you. I see we have some people that have joined us. And as always, I love to start by saying hello to you. So, hello, good evening. Good morning or afternoon, wherever you're watching us from. I'm so excited to be doing this tonight. And because I want to say a nice hello to you, please put it for me in the comment section. Let me know where you're watching this from, whether this is your first time to be here or you are here for the end time, because we have got some people that have been coming here every other time when we have a webinar. So let's say hello to each other in the chats so that I can know who we have, where you're watching us from, and I will be able to say a good hello to you. So let me see those chats so that I can know who we have and where you're watching us from. It feels nice. It makes me know that I'm not alone. So who is here with me? Please let me know where you're watching me from. Post a comment on the chat so that I can acknowledge your presence. We are preparing for the festivities, and tonight is going to be nice. We are going to be ready to face our families despite our challenging dynamics. We'll be ready to go there. Hi, Scovia Awino. She's watching from Nairobi. Hello, Scovia. Nice to see you here. Are you a first timer, or this is your second time, or this is your nth time? Are you the one at the kind that have been here every so often? So let me know whether it's for the first time, even as you say hello to us, or wewe ni mwenyeji, you are one of us that have been coming here often. We have a Facebook user who is saying hello from Modega. I believe Modega is in Kino. So hello. Hi, Margaret from Sultan. Hi, Margaret. I used to live in Sultan many years ago. Happy to see you. And we have a Facebook user who is saying it's my first time. We have Rose Muita. Hey, everyone. Hi, Rose. Nice to see you. Musumbi Margaret from Sultan is saying this is her first time. Karibu sana. This is a warm forum for all of us where we learn, we relearn, and we unlearn some of the things that require us to unlearn so that we can live more fruitful lives. And Emmy Waro is saying, hi, I'm Emmy. It's my first time. Emmy would love to know where you're watching us from so that we can give you a nice warm welcome even as we start our session for tonight. So tonight I'm excited. So keep those hellos coming. Keep saying hi to us. Tonight as I'm excited because I want us to be prepared for the festivities, because festivities are supposed to be moments of joy. They're supposed to be moments of refreshment. And I would love you to be prepared for those festivities so that you can have a wonderful time. Emmy is saying she's watching us from Kiambu. So karibu sana, Emmy. We have Mary Gashao. She's saying, hi, it's my third time watching from Nairobi. Karibu sana, Mary. A pleasure to see you here once again. Karibu sana, even as we do this webinar tonight. So people will continue to acknowledge you as you come in. We have Mabel Chebi from Eldoret. She's ready to learn. Thanks, Mabel, for coming. We have Rose Muita. She's saying she's watching from Meru. Karibu sana, Rose. We appreciate. Asante kwa kuwakilisha Meru County. So for those who are here for the first time, my name is Coach Ruth Waithera of the Soul Clinic. And at the Soul Clinic is where we fix your pain. We help you feel good so that you are able to live a whole life. My greatest desire is to see people overcome difficult relationships and difficult circumstances and be able to live their lives fruitfully and in purpose, able to overcome the things that have been putting them down so that they are happy and they are healthy emotionally, psychologically, and even physically. So karibuni sana for tonight. Emma Geshoke is saying hi. Hi, Emma. Just in time. We have Clarice Opio from Migori. First timer. Thank you so much. All the way from Migori. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you to the webinar tonight. Emma is watching from Kasarani. Karibu sana. So tonight I want us to look at how to navigate difficult family relationships, especially during these festive seasons. Because the festivities are here, we have expectations, our family has expectations of us. So how are we able to navigate difficult family relationships if that is what we are presented with in a way that makes the festivities a blessing and a happy moment for us? And many of us have seen these kind of memes or sayings or slogans. Like I have one here that is saying that family is not an important thing, it's everything. I don't know how that resonates with you who is here, because this is a very common view that is held by many, and it continues to be propagated in our social, family, and religious circles that family is everything. And indeed, we cannot argue that family is a very important basic unit in society. It's the core foundation of all other units in the society. So the family is very important. It's also so important because it's the foundation of all your relationships. So you learn how to relate from the family. That's how you learn how to relate with others. And it's also within the family that you learn how to relate with yourself, depending on the relationship that you had with your primary caregivers. So the fact that family is important cannot be disputed. But then what happens when every time you hear about family, you get triggered? That it's more triggering than comforting. What if your experience with your family is not what the society expects? So what if your family relationships antagonize you more than they bring you peace and harmony? So where do you lie? Does it mean that you are wrong? Does it mean that you are wrong to feel this way? And many of us who grew up in the times when we were growing up, in many homes, there was this quote that hung in many of our living rooms that said that family that prays together stays together, and family is love. Maybe it was there in your home, you can tell us. Or which other quotes were hanging from your family walls. And this quote is a symbol of unity. It was supposed to symbolize that this is a united space, that this is a united family. And this family has certain values that hold them together, or certain values that this family holds dear and close to its heart. But does your family feel like love? Does your family feel like love? Like what that hanging said there, does it feel like love? Or does your family feel like this unending rivalry, backstabbing, and walking on eggshells, that you can't be yourselves around each other? Maybe you have this rivalry that never seems to end. You're always backstabbing each other. So when you see such words, instead of them bringing warmth to your heart, they trigger you to some extent, because you don't think that that is what family has been for you. And the reason as to why some family relations are very antagonizing and very difficult is the amount of boundary crossing that happens there. There's a lot of boundary crossing because many families believe that family members should not have boundaries, that we are one enmeshed, and enmeshment is looked at as unity. So you have these relationships that are very enmeshed, and sometimes the parents in the family, the aunties or the siblings, end up abusing their roles and status in each other's lives and in the family. So instead of the family being nurturing, it gets to a space where there are some people who are abusing their status as leaders in that capacity and in that family. So there's a lot of control and invalidation, sometimes that is really insane. So people believe that in a family situation, a certain people should control how everybody thinks, how everybody does things, and everybody should be doing things this way. And if you're not doing it this way, then you are wrong. Then you've been validated, you've been manipulated. And remember that in every space where there's control and invalidation, there is abuse, because those are normally the ingredients of abuse. So there can be such high levels of emotional abuse and manipulation taking place in a family behind closed doors. And these are backed by societal expectations, they are backed by religious beliefs. So people feel right because the society expects certain members of the family or to be behaving in a certain way. Some religious beliefs seem to be supporting this way of thinking and of doing things. And now these expectations and beliefs that are held within the family, they invalidate the experiences of the family members. And these family members are forced to suffer in silence because you can't complain. Because if you complain that my mother is not treating me well, the society will remind you of what it views as family and what it views as the role of the mother or the father. The religious circle will remind you of the place of the parent, the place of the mother, the place of the father, of the elders, and such. And that way, even when you are hurting or you are going through a difficult time, you will suffer in silence. So some family members become very broken. And when they are broken, then they will suffer or they'll struggle with all manner of addictions. They'll struggle with alcohol and substance abuse. Some will struggle with eating disorders. They'll struggle with sex addictions. They'll struggle with antisocial behavior. They'll struggle with relationship issues. Now, these struggles, these addictive struggles, these relationship struggles and antisocial behaviors continue to make this family member to be ostracized further from the family. So the same family that has invalidated this person's experience or that has brought these experiences to this person are the same ones now who will come and ostracize the same member for having behavior struggles or challenges. So then this becomes an unending cycle of family dysfunctions, dysfunctions that never end. And some family members continue to be invalidated through their life. They continue to feel unseen, unheard, misunderstood. There is no avenue to vent. There is no avenue to resolve issues. There is no avenue to say what you're feeling or what is happening in your space. So you are silent, you're in this family, and you continue to get broken more and more. We have other very common quotes, like time together as a family is a gift. I don't know how you feel when you read some of these comments. Do they resonate well? Do they sit well with you? Or do they trigger you? Or do they not mean much? Because if this is how you feel about family, then maybe it's time to evaluate your family relations and know and understand where the issues could be. So tonight's session is for you. It's for you if you're struggling with how do I conduct myself during this festive season. Maybe you're still undecided. Do I go home for the festivities or not? And what is home? Where is home for me? Do you feel like you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't? So it's either way, there'll be some trouble. If you decide to go, it may be very uncomfortable. There'll be a lot of trouble. If you decide not to go, maybe the trouble will be multiplied. So if you're struggling because maybe your relationship with your mother is not as rosy, maybe your mother's attitude towards you or how she deals with you is really against the societal rules and expectations of motherhood. Or your father is your greatest source of pain, shaky identity, and low self-esteem. Or your relationships with your siblings are characterized by a lot of antagonism and jealousy. So you don't have these fuzzy, cozy, warm feelings towards maybe a certain brother, a certain sister, your mom, your father, or another close member of your family. So you are struggling and wondering, people are so happy now. We are going home, it's Christmas, it's the festivities. So how do I conduct myself? Because I feel like I'm damned if I go home, or I'm damned if I don't. Either way, there's going to be trouble. So what do you do if you find yourself in such a situation? The first and foremost step to dealing with difficult relationships is to accept the reality of your family dynamics. Accept the reality that your relationship with either some family members, a parent, or whoever it is that you're struggling with is not ideal. So you don't have an ideal relationship with your mother. You don't have an ideal relationship with your father. Stop playing perfect relationships. If it's not perfect, it's not perfect, accept it. Why? Because the more you try to play perfect, this will mean that you will suppress yourself, you suppress how you feel, you can't be authentic and real with yourself, and this is very detrimental to your emotional, psychological, and mental well-being. So don't allow yourself to struggle too much. If the relationship is not ideal, it is not ideal. So accept that first. Stop trying to replay other family dynamics to fit into your family circumstances, because your family circumstances are different. So if your auntie's family does things A, B, C, D, and you've tried maybe to replay or replicate those practices or whatever into your own family and it doesn't work, stop trying to replay. Acknowledge and accept that my family dynamics are different and we can't have it like so and so. And this acceptance comes with a lot of grief and mourning. But remember, there is no healing in the absence of truth. And this acceptance will cut around all relationships. It may be your relationships with your biological parents or even your in-laws. There are some of us where we are married, we're not accepted. You hear the way your friends have these nice relationships with their mothers-in-law, but yours. So just accept that the truth of the matter is this person or that person that I really would love to get close to, that I wish we had this nice, warm, working, ideal relationship with, we don't have it. Because there is no healing in the absence of truth. And that acceptance will come with a bit of grief and mourning. Mourning what you thought you had, or what you wished you had, or what you would wish to have. So you look at it and you're like, oh my God, I wish my mother treated me different. I wish my in-laws would accept me the way so and so is accepted. Because maybe even their lack of acceptance of you is affecting your marriage. So, you feel like you are dragging this whole thing that you don't know what to do with and you don't know how to deal with it. So acceptance is key. Now, once you have accepted, you need to set boundaries. You can't heal if you allow yourself to continue being hurt, being abused, being manipulated by the same people. So stop exposing yourself to abuse and manipulation by setting some good emotional, psychological, and sometimes even physical boundaries. By now, Because I'm assuming you have attended this session because you know there are some relationships that maybe don't work as well as you would want them to. So by now, you know what to expect from some people when you meet them over Christmas. It won't be such a shock when they say what they say or they do what they do. So that person you're struggling with, by now you know how they manifest, you know how they treat you. You may not have had everything yet, but at least you have had some things and seen some things. So decide beforehand what kind of conversations and actions you will entertain and the ones you will not. If you're practicing boundary setting, maybe for the first time, maybe these are new things that you're trying to practice. This deciding beforehand comes in very handy. Because sometimes there are some people that come at you so powerfully that they mess up your thinking, that you're not able to say what you'd have wanted to say in that moment. So beforehand, because maybe you know the kind of things that antagonize you when you're relating with this person, just decide beforehand what I will do, what conversations I will allow myself to have, how far I will go with those conversations, the ones I won't have will look this way, etc. So decide beforehand, because setting boundaries is key. Because remember, I've told you that the reason as to why family relationships, not even just family relationships, all manner of relationships become very difficult, is because there's a lot of boundary crossing. People really coming into your space and you start to feel like they're attacking the person you are. They're attacking who you are at the core. So learn to say your firm yeses and nos. If you want to say yes, please say yes. If you want to say no, say no. And learn to use some appropriate humor so that it doesn't look like you're just hitting at people and slapping them. And this is where healing comes in handy. Because sometimes when you try to set boundaries in the midst of pain, then you will say all the wrong things and you'll say them in the very wrong way, that it's likely going to aggravate that relationship and make it worse. So learn to use some humor in your conversations. For example, if somebody asks you something you don't want to answer, you may tell them, "Hey, this is Christmas time, Bwana. This goat I'm swallowing may just come alive in me if I try to answer that question. So let's first of all finish eating." And then you walk away from that conversation. You don't have to tell them, by the way, how many times am I going to explain to you that I don't want? No. How many times am I going to tell you that I don't want to have this? It will become like an attack. So try and use some humor that you can find depending on the issue that someone is asking you. Also decide beforehand that you're going to enjoy yourself regardless, so that you don't allow yourself to soak into other people's negative energy. That, you know what, this Christmas I am enjoying myself. This season is good and it is for me. And to be able to do this, please do not internalize those sneaky comments. If somebody says something hard, don't personalize it. Because imagine there's nothing wrong with you. People speak from the overflow of their hearts. That's who they are from within. It's got nothing to do with you. And the people that make your life so hard, I am telling you, even if you did everything you think will make them happy, it still won't make them happy. So the issue is not you. So don't personalize it. Don't internalize those sneaky comments. Don't keep asking yourself, okay, hey, why would mom say that about me? Why would she do that to me? Why would my sister, say something so hurtful to me? Why would my brother do this? Why would so and so? So don't personalize those things. Don't internalize them, because the more you internalize them, the more you take up their negative energy, the more it brings you down, the more it's going to make you feel terrible. So please don't internalize those things. Remind yourself, this got nothing to do with me. If you ever make a mistake with these people, the best thing is normally to apologize and move on. So don't allow yourself to dwell in that space for too long. This is because it's Very important that you don't leave your emotional wellness at the mercies of others. If you allow other people to deal with you the way they wish, it's going to be very tough for you. So don't leave your emotional wellness at the mercies of everybody else, that everybody else can do whatever they want. With me, let them say whatever they want. I'm not going to set boundaries. I'll just sit here and listen. No. It's okay to walk away from a conversation that is not serving you. It's okay to say no. We have talked about that matter countless times. I think I've said enough. I don't want to say more. I think I've done enough for the day. That which is remaining will be done tomorrow. Now I want to rest. Setting physical boundaries may mean that you minimize contact. You don't have to spend all your Christmas leave days in the presence of those that antagonize you. No. If you have 10 days, you don't have to tell them, now I have 10 Christmas days, I want to come. So they start planning for your Christmas days, what they will do, what you will do, and then your days are over. If you want to minimize contact, you can spend 2 with them. The rest have plans that meet your needs and preferences. And you don't have to tell them what you're doing. Because by telling them what you're doing, you're opening the door for them to invalidate you, to invalidate what it is that you want to do. So you don't have to tell them what my plans are. Just have to tell them by there I'll be home on the 27th and the 28th, or 24th and 25th. After that, I'll be going back home. What you're going to do with your going back home is really none of their business. Because the more information you give, it's like giving missiles for someone who wants to shoot you down. So don't give them too much information. So have other plans. Boundary setting also means that you understand your sphere of control. Just know you can only control your thoughts, you can only control your emotions, you can only control your actions. You cannot control other people's thoughts, emotions, actions, beliefs, attitudes. Those you can't. Now, this understanding helps you avoid the unnecessary strife, because there is some strife that is really unnecessary. Fights do not need to go full blown. So avoid that unnecessary strife that comes with you trying to make people hear you, see your point of view. You have told them one thing X number of times, they don't seem to get it, and you are there defending your point and fighting. And no. Once you've said enough about a matter, it's always important to walk away from that conversation. Let them now see your actions. So, for example, if I say I'm only available on the 24th and the 25th, I will not allow myself to get into this trying to convince them why I can't come all the days, no. So just know that the only things you can control are your thoughts. You can't control what someone thinks about you. They will think whatever they want, whatever suits them. You can't control how they feel about you. Be respectful in your expression of boundaries. That's all you need to do. And be firm and assertive. That's all. How someone feels about that boundary is really out of your control. So learn to not throw yourself into things and into conversations and into situations in an effort to make the other person see and do things the way you see them. The third thing that you need to do, which is very important, and this could be a long-term goal, is that you need to process and heal from the pain that these relationships have caused. Because to be able, to set boundaries in a healthy way, you need to heal. Otherwise, boundary setting will also become a very triggering experience for you. And instead of communicating your boundaries, you'll be inviting war of words and of emotions and unnecessary negative energy into your space. So heal. so that you are able to set your boundaries in an firm, assertive way. And to be able to heal, you've got to let what hurts hurt. You've got to stop running away from that pain so that it heals and it can be changed. So don't fear the expression of pain. Shutting it down is what will hurt you. So allow yourself to feel the pain and to express it so that you can process it, so that you can be able to set boundaries from a space of self-care, not from a space of trying to prove a point, not from a space of trying to fight back. Because if you try to set boundaries from that space, your conversations will go south very easily. Those relationships will get worse very easily. You will say things you didn't intend to say very easily. And in that mix-up of saying things is where, for example, a parent will say very hurtful things, which you don't want to happen. So once you realize that you have difficult relationships with people that are close to you, and especially parents, go and put effort into healing the pain that these relationships keep causing you. So that when you're coming to do your boundary setting, even if you need to communicate to the parent that I don't like ABC, that this makes me feel this way and that way, that I will not be able to do this. You are doing it from a space of self-care, not from a space of anger and bitterness. So don't shut your emotions down, because when you shut them down, they will attract a lot of they will attract mental and physical health issues or concerns. Unprocessed pain breeds anger and resentment. So don't allow pain to sit within you unattended, because it never goes away. It only sits there. It breeds anger and resentment towards the person that you're feeling pain towards, or the person that has caused you pain. It will aggravate those bad relationships, like the way I've said it. But healing not only sets you free as a person, but it eventually helps you to be able to look at the other person with compassion. And I know looking at that person with compassion may be the farthest way you will ever have to go from where you are standing right now. So it's not something that will happen overnight. But healing will help you to look at this person from a point of compassion. Because people that are difficult to deal with are also people that are difficult and are having struggles within their own spaces. Within them, they don't feel good enough. Within them, they have esteem issues. Within them, they have challenges that maybe you know nothing about. This is not to say that we allow them to hurt us and to abuse us. No. But healing will help you to look at this person from a very different perspective, and it also helps you to deal with them from a very different perspective. So don't pretend that everything is okay when it's not. If your relationship with your mother is not good, it is not good. Don't pretend that it is good. It helps to speak truth to yourself, because healing requires you to validate your experiences. And one way of validating your experiences is to speak your truth. And the first place you ever need to speak your truth to is within yourself. Some of us don't speak that truth to ourselves. Then we try to speak it to other people. Then other people can't understand what we are saying. So they invalidate, they go like, it can't be that bad. Mothers are not so bad. What are you saying about your father? My father is like ABCD. So because you haven't validated the truth within yourself, you allow other people to invalidate you by speaking from their own experiences. So truth needs to be spoken to you first so that you can heal. Healing will help you lead a productive life without dealing with a lot of emotional baggage. And this is not very easy to do. So depending on how bad this relationship is or has been, or how long it has been, or the things that have been said and done, you may require the support of mental health professionals. And this is where you get yourself out there and you seek for help. So I don't know whether we have a question up to that point. I would want to respond to questions even as I take a breather. So put your questions there in the chat. Let me see them and I will respond. So if you have a question, let me see them from the chat. I'm seeing a lot of people have joined us since we started. Doreen Nauma from at the river. Thank you so much, Doreen, for being here. Welcome. We have Liz Seda from Kisumu. I'm here to heal. So karibu sana, Liz. Let me know what questions you have. I would love to respond to them and to answer them before I proceed. I don't know what Joanne Kagema wants me to say that loud out again. Maybe you can let me know. We have Sarah Ndongo who has joined us from Gong. Karibu sana, Sarah. I'm happy to be here tonight and to be doing this. Karibu Esther Munguti from Roiro, Kiambu. Doreen is saying, very true. Voicing out maturely with reasoning is what is helping me. I have gotten to that place that I feel that I refuse to hate, and the pain of anger and bitterness is working out thanksgiving and praise. Thank you very much, Doreen, for this perspective. It's important to know that the pain of anger and bitterness and resentment that we sometimes allow to sit within ourselves. And sometimes it feels powerful to be angry at someone. It just feels like even you have something you are holding against them. But what many of us don't realize is that holding on to this anger, pain, and bitterness is hurting us. You are holding a ticking time bomb within yourself. So when it explodes, it is going to explode within you. It is you that is going to harm. It is you that it is going to cause damage to, not the other person. So that is why healing and releasing and letting go and forgiving is very, very important. But also remember, this is a process. So don't start pushing yourself to the finishing line where you have forgiven and now everything is good and you're able to deal with these people from a different perspective. Don't force yourself to get there. Allow yourself to go through the process so that you heal effectively and you heal well without having to suppress your emotions. I'm learning to empathize and understand where people are coming from to help me live with people and family members. So empathy is very, very important. But empathy, I always say, it should not be the first thing you attempt to do. Face the reality of the situation first. Then from there, once you have understood and accepted what you are dealing with, learn to empathize with people so that you don't suppress what you're feeling within you in an attempt and in an effort to please or to forgive or to try and fitting in a certain societal space that people have been told, you need to forgive, you need to let go, you need to move on, because some people have really done you bad. So it is good that you allow yourself to go through that process and go it through well. So I don't know whether we have someone who has a question. Then I can respond. If there are no questions, I'll proceed. Ruth Mukui is saying, I'm here from Kashfat, Kiambu. Karibu sana, Ruth, for tonight's webinar. So if we don't have a question, so I know the family of origin and the relationships that we have there really impact how we show up in life. The view of self you have, low self-esteem, healthy self-esteem, unhealthy self-esteem, your ability to speak up and stand up for yourself, your ability to raise boundaries, your abilities to say no to abuse. All these abilities are formed at the family of origin. And the moment I realized that, then I decided that I'm going to help people to deal with the issues that originate from your family of origin that start manifesting into your adult life. And one of the ways that I do that is that I came up with a 12-week program that I want to tell you about. It's called the Queen's Inner Circle. It helps you to reconnect with your soul, because at the core of you is your soul. At your soul is where your gifts are, your passions are, your dreams, your desires. All that you are is there. So if you are disconnected from that part of you that makes you authentic, the parts of you that makes you desire what you desire and want what you want, the parts of you that stand up and protect you, if you're disconnected from those, then you can't live your life in purpose. And I want people to be able to live their lives purposely. I want you to be able to relate with your people from a perspective of knowledge, because you can't block everybody. Nowadays, we block people and we move on. There are people you can't block. There are people that are in your space constantly. So you need to learn how to deal with them without opening yourself to more abuse, without opening yourself to more hurt. Because if every time you get triggered, you block, every time you get triggered, you walk away, where will you live? So triggers are supposed to be pointers. They're supposed to be pointing that, guess what? There's an area that you need to focus on here. So this 12 weeks program, I wanted to help you to deal with those traumas, the painful, dysfunctional experiences from the roots. So it's an online program where participants meet once a week. And on the first week, what we do is we do an introduction into the program, what the expectations of the programs are, what you need to bring into the program, because there are some tools that you need to bring into the program to help you process your dysfunctions. And then the second week, we assess what traumatic experiences. And traumatic does not have to be so out there like some of us imagine what trauma looks like. It could be small things that were said that made you feel small, things that made you feel insecure, like the world is a very insecure, unhealthy space. Many of the ladies that go through this program get surprised at what they discover when they do that assessment of their experiences and their relationships with their primary caregivers and those that were close to them. Week 3, we understand how those things that you discovered in week 2 affect you. So how do they affect how you show up in life? We look at what we normally call mother wounds and father wounds, the words and the actions or the misactions that were done or not done by our primary caregivers. And these, surprisingly, are our biggest obstacles in life. And healing begins after you uncover this. Week 4, we deal with a painful, difficult thing that we call emotional pain. Because emotional pain is very destructive. You can't see it, you can't touch it, but you can feel it. It's difficult to heal. Many of us want to run away from it. We want to avoid it. So week 4, this is what we do. So we will use a unique process to soothe and slowly heal your pain. And this will close your emotional wounds so that the past stops being the hindrance to your future. It stops being a barrier. It stops being a barrier to you living happily in the present and peacefully. Then week 5, we'll have a one-on-one session with me. So this session is supposed to help you as an individual to put into perspective what you have discovered so far to enhance your healing journey. Week 6 and week 7, we are going to do what we call healing practices. So I will introduce you to unique healing practices that will help you feed and nurture your soul, as well as create a safe internal environment for you. Week 7, we look at anger and forgiveness. Remember, I've told you, you can't set boundaries if you're angry. Those do not become boundary setting, they become battle points. So how do you deal with your anger? How do you forgive? How do you release it? How do you find your path to peace, joy, and freedom? Then week 9, we'll set boundaries. I want to teach you how to set boundaries and to detach from the people that you need to detach to, because sometimes some people are so unsafe that you need to detach from them in a healthy way so that you are able to demand for what you want and live the kind of life that you want to live. And week 10, we are silencing the inner critic, because a lot of us have this inner judge that is always with us, that is always invalidating us, questioning our thoughts, questioning our actions, the inner judge. So we want to put the inner judge into a coffin, nail it shut, so that you're able to live like a free being. And week 11, we touch base again. We'll do another session, one-on-one, you and me. We evaluate the whole journey from week 1, maybe up to week 11, or from week 6, after we did the other one-on-one session. So what issues arise? This session is informed by the practices that we have done. What has come out? When you silence the inner critic, because there's a special activity that we do. So when you did that special activity, what came out? How can I support you to process the issues that came out of that? Then week 12, we'll be debriefing its participants, everybody in that class sharing their stories and their journeys. Then we support each other. We see where you have done well, the areas that require further work, and I'll give you insights into areas that require your further healing. So you will not come out of this program the same. You will get in touch with parts of you didn't know existed, or you didn't know how to access. And our next cohort for this class will start on the 15th of January. So if you want to be in this class, please put an investment for yourself of Kenya shillings 30,000, which cannot be compared to the transformation that you will get at the end of this class. You can also take advantage of the early bird offer. I want us to start the year nicely. I want to give you a Christmas gift. So if you want to be in this class and you want to take advantage of the early bird offer of 25K, please do so before the 3rd of January, when the early bird offer will expire. And maybe you are wondering, okay, Ruth, that's a lot. Or how do I know it works? Listen to some lady who has been in this program. Wow, this is small, so allow me to read it for you. This lady said that I met Ruth through her videos on YouTube. I finally found someone who I finally had someone place names on what I was going through. After having a chat with her, she advised me to join a group therapy class where she would address childhood traumas. This is one of the best decisions I have ever made in my life. I was so trauma bonded and I missed the abuse I had gone through in my marriage for over 20 years. This is a lady who was going through marital abuse, and she didn't know what it was because it was very hidden abuse. It was not out there. So finally she found me, and I could put a name to what she was going through. So she discovered how I discovered how my childhood experiences had played a major part in the way I interpreted life and made my decisions. The process of dealing with my childhood traumas introduced deep issues that wounded me and had to work hard to address the little child in me. That journey was hard. Addressing my parental wounds was one big assignment. The truth was also not easy, but Ruth kept guiding us to push forward and do the work. I cried for days. It was hard work to accept how I had been wounded, and accepting it and forgiving myself and others was not easy. I was on high anxiety since my childhood, always walking on eggshells around my parents and eventually my spouse. I was so tired mentally and physically, but through the various techniques that have been taught through the sessions, the anxiety has gone down significantly. Mentally, I am very calm and peaceful. My memory retention is better, and my body feels more relaxed than before. Oh my, I have never known good sleep until I joined the group therapy. In fact, I used to wonder why people sleep if they wake up tired, because you would sleep and wake up feeling fatigued. I am surprised that you can sleep, but your body refuses refuses to because of anxiety. So this is a lady that was dealing with a lot of anxiety. I was trauma bonded. She missed the abuse, especially that of her spouse. I discovered abuse was my love language. In group therapy, I have been able to know the right way to love myself through self-love and affirmations. I was taught that I could not love others if I could not love myself. I learned to make healthy boundaries and to keep them no matter what other people felt, because I also had to stop the people-pleasing syndrome. I was also codependent, always needing help to make every move. She couldn't make even simple decisions for herself. Honestly, I must have been a pain to everyone I interacted with. I am more confident and decisive now. I would recommend this program to anyone who has gone through abuse so that you can discover your wounds and who you can become. The sharing among group members opens you up to other hidden areas that need to be addressed. The support of Ruth and other members is so key. My world is so new now. I am safe, loving, and in a confident place. I am so grounded, assertive, and able to identify abusers easily now. There are many who need this. My prayer is that they get an opportunity to join the group therapy. I feel I can join again and again. Thank you. Best choice ever. Life has begun. Thank you, Ruth. You are a gift to wounded women. God bless you and the work you do. So this is a lady who came into this program. She was going through an abusive relationship. She realized that the reason is why she was tolerating abuse is because of what she went through in childhood. She had anxiety. She couldn't sleep. She was a mess. And by the time she got to the end of this program, she had at least managed to create a safe internal environment for her and regulate herself. So this is a very heartwarming story. And this could be a story in the next few weeks. So if you want to be a part of this program, please take advantage. And this program is coming with bonuses. There's a program that I have done of narcissistic abuse and recovery. How to unveil a narcissist, how to communicate with a narcissist, how to co-parent with a narcissist if that is what you are doing, and how to gain closure from a narcissistic relationship. That is one of the bonuses that you will get by joining this program. I have another program that I have done on what is abuse. Because many of us do not understand abuse, especially if it is not physical or someone is not calling you names. So we don't understand invalidation, silent treatment. We don't understand spiritual abuse. We don't understand emotional and mind games. So this course helps put abuse into perspective. It's a 5 days, it's a 5 sessions course. So you will learn a lot. You will understand, even in an abusive situation, you'll understand why you attract an abuser in the first place. The mentor and belief attitudes that keep you stuck, that keep you from being able to stand up for yourself and to set boundaries. So it is all there. I have described all manner of abuse that you can come across. It's going to be a bonus. You will also get my book because I've ordered a book called Hidden Abuse. It is also going to be part of that bonus. And another wonderful booklet called the Positive Femininity Booklet. Positive Femininity Booklet helps you tap into your feminine energy and your feminine power. So you join the program and you get that as well. And reserve your spot because this group works well with a small number. So I only take 10 women. So if you want to be part of the group, please book your slot early before the 10 women are in. So make your payment through the pay bill number 522-522-603-1621. We'll also put it in the chat. I don't know whether Sam Ambrose is here with me. He can help me put that in the chat. If not, I'll put it later. So make your payments through that pay bill number. And remember to take advantage of the early bird offer that runs until the 3rd of January 2024, midnight. After that, you will be required to make the full payment. If you want to make a payment plan where you feel you can't make this payment at once, please get in touch with me. we can come up with a plan that works for you, because I want you to start the new year as a better person, start it on a better footing, so that by December next year, you will have a beautiful testimony to give, like the one that has been given by that lady. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in the Queen's Inner Circle. Now, if this is your first time interacting with me, you haven't heard about me, this is your first session, you're wondering, so who is Ruth? And you want maybe to get a glimpse before you get into the Queen's Inner Circle. You want to get a feel of who I am and what it is that I'm talking about. There's something that I call the Soul Clinic Bundle. The Soul Clinic Bundle are the two courses that I have talked about. The one on hidden abuse, the narcissistic abuse recovery program, the two ebooks, the one for hidden abuse and the positive femininity ebook. So if you want to get a glimpse of who I am, these books and these courses would have costed you $11,700. But I've decided to give you a Christmas offer. So I have a Christmas offer of Kenya shillings 3,000. So instead of paying 11, you will pay 3. So if you want to take advantage of this offer, you can make your payments through the pay bill number that I've given you before, or directly to my number 011 52 88162. So, and if you buy this offer and you want to join the group coaching session, it is going to be subsidized because you will have already made an investment into this Christmas bundle. But if you're not able to join the group coaching, but you want to benefit, you want to understand abuse, and the course on hidden abuse and the book on hidden abuse are very elaborate on the kind of abuse that is not so obvious, because many of us are spiritually abused, especially spiritually invalidated, but we don't know it. I have talked about that in depth in the course and in the book. So take advantage of that. Make your payments through the pay bill number or directly to the number on the screen there. Once you have made your payment for the bundle, please forward your number, forward the proof of payment to the WhatsApp number 011 52 88162, the same number you have done your payment through. And this offer runs for 10 days. So it starts tonight. So if you want to take advantage of the Christmas bundle, please make your payments tonight. Once you forward the message to me, I will forward the link to you, and within 24 hours, you'll be able to access the Christmas bundle. It runs between tonight and 31st December midnight. So please take advantage. Let next year be different for you. Invest in your healing. Because if you don't invest in your healing, you remain stuck in the same space that you have been stuck in before. Let me see whether there are some questions that are in the chat that I would respond to in the next few minutes before we end. How to deal with all this pain, I think I have talked about it. Ruth Mokui, you need to process it. You need to accept it. If you can come to the program, we look at it in depth. We deal with pain in depth so that we are able to help you process and move on. Mabel is saying she's learning a lot. Speak truth to yourself. Don't shut it down because it will end up hurting you. It will actually blow you up. Joanne is saying it's very difficult. I thank God there is help in learning. It's not easy, I tell you. Yes, it is not easy, Joanne, because the people that are closest to us have the greatest potential to hurt us, and sometimes we don't know what to do. So come into the program and I'll help you address even the belief patterns that hold you back. And if you can't come into the program, take advantage of those two courses, because especially they address the belief patterns, because it's mainly in our minds and in our belief patterns and in how we feel about ourselves and we view ourselves. Yes, once you access the bundle, it's lifetime access. Once you purchase the bundle, Jacinta, it is lifetime access. It is going to be on seller, so you can always log in and access it. So if you want to take advantage of the bundle, please do. If you want to come into the Queen's Inner Circle, please come. I really look forward to helping you process your issues, to help you process your pain and the difficult relationships, all of them, starting with difficult relationships with your primary caregivers. So do I have a question? If you miss the January program, will it be on offer again in 2024? Yes, there will be other cohorts. So this is going to be cohort 5. So if you can't join the January one, you can always join the other one in April. So yes. So is there another question? How do you deal with difficult in-laws who belittle you whenever you can? Learn to set boundaries and to communicate them, Susan. Set boundaries and communicate them. And if they continue trashing your emotional boundaries, you may need to put some physical boundaries, like how often should I see these people? And when I see them, how long do I hang around them? Learn to say no. Look out for your own interests. So don't allow people, because there are people in authority over your life, there are people that you respect, to continue to emotionally abuse you, or even verbally or wherever. Learn to set boundaries and to speak and to stand up for yourself. And I know it's very difficult to stand up to your in-laws, but it's also very damaging to allow them to continue to hurt you. So you need to do what you need to do to be able to be safe. How do you handle issues that are deep-rooted in families that are rejected and despised, and this pain is unbearable? Please come to the Queen's Inner Circle, Joanne, because remember, I have told you the first thing we are going to do is to the depth, the adverse childhood experiences, and those things that are deeply rooted in our families. We are going to look at them and see what they are. Then we will know how to process them and to move on. So thank you very much for showing up tonight. Please take advantage of the Queen's Inner Circle early bird offer. Take advantage of the Christmas bundle. Make your purchase, and once you have purchased, please forward your message to this WhatsApp number on your screen, and then I shall grant you access. Otherwise, I wish you a happy holiday. I look forward to hearing beautiful stories of how you are able to set a boundary for yourself, how you are able to stand up for yourself, how you are able to communicate, how you are able to say no and to say yes, and how you're feeling great, because boundary setting is part of self-care. So I really look forward to hearing those beautiful stories. Yes, Anna, I'm available physically. If you want to talk to me for one-on-one, please come to the chat through that WhatsApp number, and you and I shall have a conversation of how I am able to support you. So thank you very much for showing up tonight. I don't take it for granted that you have set aside a whole hour to come here and be with me tonight. I wish you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Let's keep our healing journeys moving. Good night and God bless you.